29th of March. It's a Tuesday. It's a kind of a dreary day. It's supposed to get up to, 63 or something, real windy out. Right now it's 10:30 in the morning, and I thought I'd head out on a little ride this morning through Fremont County, Iowa. And I'm going to lead up to some of the historical nature of Fremont County. And I'm going to be dealing specifically with the Underground Railroad. But I'm going to start here where I live in town. I'm living in the Luss Hills, which is a little higher elevation hills here in southwest Iowa. And I'm going to be heading down towards the Missouri River bottom, and I'll break out on the Missouri River bottom, and then we'll talk some more about the early settlement along the Missouri River and leading up hopefully to some locations I want to thoroughly look for some artifacts and see what we can find. So I'm headed out this morning on a little jaunt to do a little bit of historical looking at Fremont County, Iowa. So looking at right now is Interstate Highway 29, runs along the western edge of Iowa, right along the Missouri River. It's a good north-south thoroughfare going from all the way from the Dakotas all the way down to Kansas City. And we're down here on the river bottom. Across the way in the distance is the little town of Percival, Iowa. And that'll be part of our story along the way. And that's just along the interstate. And where we're headed to is we're going down in this direction. We're going to go down towards the Missouri River where the mills are across the way over there. We're going to go towards Civil Bend, what they call Civil Bend in Eureka. And we'll stop, look at some of the little placards along the way and get a little bit better look in the history of the early settlers in this Fremont County area, actually before Iowa became a state, and into the early parts of when it was statehood, when you still had Nebraska as a territory. So we're headed down that way. We'll see what happens. The Missouri River is the western boundary of Fremont County, and the big bend in the river was called Civil Bend. It was the first settled area in the county and played an important part in the abolitionist movement. Like I mentioned a while ago, it's really windy today. And what you're looking at way down the distance, you're looking at the bridge goes over Interstate 29. There's a truck going underneath it. I'm looking to the east, but I'm way down here, probably a mile and a half, maybe a couple miles from that bridge. And what I'm here to look at is that little sign right there. It said, Site of Platt School and Church. Says it's about 100 yards north. It's out in this field. It said 1848 to 1955. And there used to be one of the original schools, because it was originally put up here for educating the Indians. And it was done by the Platts, one of the first settlers of the area. And we'll get to looking at them a little bit later. But I'm going to go out here. I've been here once before. I'm going to go out and look for some artifacts out here. I got permission from the landowner, and we'll see whether or not we can find anything that ties ourselves to the early settlement of Fremont County and probably parts of the Underground Railroad. This little grove of trees that you can see over there, there's not too many left, back in there someplace was the home of the Platts. And I am going to be going back in there. I got permission from that landowner. He told me a little bit about where it is. So he said you can still see where the old site was. House built out of cottonwoods. Imagine that. Down here, that was the #1 tree down here. All the sawmills and so forth. A lot of the buildings were made out of cottonwood back in the day. So we're going to go in and see if we can see any remnants at all of the location of where the house was, the original house. So the house was there, and the school and church were back out here in this field. So that's kind of what we're looking at initially. Had to do a little work, find another sign, and it was buried, busted off and buried. But I found it, and we had a flood down here in 2019, so had a lot of problems down there. It says the home of Lester and Elvira Platt, abolitionists and government agent to the Pawnee Indians, 1842 to the present is what it says. Now, in 1842, they were living down here. Iowa was a territory. Iowa wasn't a state till 1846. So this was really the Wild West back in the day. And they came here from Oberlin, Ohio, and established this. They're working for the government and built a school and built a church and basically educating the Indians, but anybody that was in the particular area. We're going to go back in and look, see if we can find their old home site. I'm back in here a little bit on the lane, and I just happened to stumble across all these old timbers down here. Old cottonwood, and they're huge. And I'm sure that some remnants of what used to be a foundation, maybe for a house, and they basically put them up here on pilasters. Probably we're going to use them for some other kind of construction. But this has to be basically some of the remains. Those are huge. And obviously, who knows, they've been reused many times over the years. So that's got to be something that's left over. We'll get back to you after a little bit. This hand-hewn timber that you're looking at is from the cabin of Lester and Elvira Platt. It was built in the area in the mid-1840s. The axe blades are the typical ones that were used to build cabins. In the mid-1840s, Lester and Elvira Platt came west from Oberlin, Ohio, to work with the Pawnee Indians, teaching them farming. The Pawnees were living near present-day Bellevue, Nebraska, and Lester and Elvira built their log cabin in Civil Bend. The Platts stayed in Civil Bend during the winter, and in the summer, they lived among the Pawnees. Elvira had graduated from Oberlin College in Ohio with a degree in horticulture. She was one of the first women college graduates in the United States. In the 1850s, they were active with Congregationalists who moved to Civil Bend to help slaves move east and west and escape from slavery. Well, down here, beautiful day. It's probably the best day we've had in I don't know how long, but no wind today. It's going to be in the 60s. It's probably about 48 right now, and it's just a beautiful day. I'm down here at Civil Bend again. I'm down here at Lester and Elvira Platt's home place back in the 1840s. Back there is a little grove of trees, and I think, from what I understand, is the house, and of course it was rebuilt from a log house and it was more modernized, and I got a picture of that house, was someplace back out in here. Back in the far distance over there is Nebraska City. It looks to be, 4 miles away, 5 miles away. That's probably where the people would have crossed over there if they were looking to escape slavery and crossed there at Nebraska City, or they may have crossed up here a little bit further onto the river. They're either there at Wyoming Landing or Lambert's Landing, something like that. So. I'm going to go and look and see if I can find anything out here, and if I do, I'll get back to you. Okay, kind of changed things right here. This is a little gravelly area, and I've been around here picking up all kinds of pottery and glass, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. The metal detector, every once in a while I found a piece of metal, some old stuff. This is kind of what we're talking about right in here. Just little bottles and little bits and pieces. So that's kind of interesting. I thought I'd look a little bit more in here and see if we can find some more stuff. It gets worked up to the surface. I was told this is where the old house was, back where this gravel and stuff was. So it's kind of interesting, but every time you work it, stuff just keeps coming up to the surface. Like here's a piece of pottery right here. Something right here. A little piece of pottery right here. Ceramic something. There's another one right here. Oh, and I found part of a bottle or something right here. It's like a piece of glass. All kinds of it. What I was really looking for were those nice blue painted pieces of cups and saucers. And I found a few of them. Looking down here, and lo and behold, a button. I found a button. I'm down here at Civil Bend. Found some glassware here. Right there's a button. Don't know anything about the age, but I'm gonna pick that baby up. Just picked this up off the field. And the little inkwell had a little stone in it. That's interesting. I mean, there's some stuff out here. I'm going to look a little bit longer, see if I can't pick up. This is an old one. It's in pretty nice shape. Usually finding something complete's tough. But I'll let go and see what happens again in the future. Okay, we got some more finds down here. We're getting the mother lode right here. I got another little ink bottle, I think. It's busted, but it's still an inkwell, chipped up a little bit. And then over here, I believe I found a marble. Right here. It's a marble. Oh my goodness gracious, a dinky one, but it is a marble. Man, oh man, oh man. This is fantastic. Been down here a little over an hour, and found a bunch of stuff, a lot of pottery shards, and I thought this is some cool stuff for about an hour. Some old horseshoe, some other old implements, some tack from horses, but a lot of metal shards, old cork topper off a bottle. Some of this nice looking stuff right here. Good stuff. couple of pieces of pottery, nice blue on that stuff. So overall, nice little find for being down there a little bit, down at the Platt location down here, Percival.